Hi, everybody. Three turn 3 year Skate Ontario presents. I did that backwards. Let me do that again. Skate Ontario presents 3 turn 3. We are the three in 3 turn 3. I'm Skating PJ, Mazen, Charlene. We got a big show today,
Morning.
kids.
We do have a big show today.
I I need to kick things off. After last week's technical debacle and nobody could hear the sound, we're going to be trying to do that again this week, but we'll see what happens. So I want to do a special shout out to Charlene Bailey in Florida, with whom I was accidentally corresponding for well over a week with all the details of 3 turn 3. I thought this Charlene Bailey on screen was bonkers and couldn't find the link that I sent her last week. Anyway, around Tuesday of this week, I got a note from Charlene Bailey who said, "I don't know any of you people. Stop emailing me. I live in Florida." And so I apologize and realized that there was one letter different between her email address and yours. So Charlene Bailey in Florida, we love you and we won't ever contact you again. Charlene Bailey in Canada, thank you so much for being
here. It is a pleasure, honestly.
I tell you what, we have none other than the fabulous Asher Hill, who's joining us today. This is, of course, Nationals Week. We are not doing the show that we were hoping to do, which was a whole lot of snazzy backstage stuff and some dish and who's who and what's what. Asher Hill, of course, is from that figure skating show, the amazing show on YouTube with he and Dylan Moskovich on cbcsports.ca's YouTube channel. So you got to make sure you check that out. They're going to be doing all kinds of live segments after each of the segments at our national championships, which start today for seniors, today and tomorrow. Short programs today, free programs tomorrow. Dylan and Asher are going to break it down. So Dylan sent me a graphic that I can't convert. So hopefully when we do our big introduction with him, we're going to show it on my second screen. Let's see what happens. Right?
Should I cross my toes as well?
Exactly.
I'm nervous. But you know what? Second time's a charm. It's fine.
Yeah, sure. Okay. We're going to start off with Skate Ontario news. Who's ready to talk about some news out there in Skate Ontario world? Anybody?
Well, it's we got some heavy hitting news this week that for the most part, all of us are off the ice. For at least a minimum of 3 weeks. So all kids, coaches, adult skaters, what have you, synchro teams, everybody's off the ice for a minimum of 3 weeks. So we're hoping that we can kind of, get this Omicron variant under control so that we can try to get right back on the ice and enjoy the things that we do, best.
So here are some of the things that we need to consider. One is, first of all, the skating family is so excited about our skaters who are at nationals. They're there without spectators. They're there just doing their best. We heard recently that both Eric Radford and Vanessa James, Olympic hopefuls, came down with COVID just before Christmas. And that is happening a lot. That's happening in the US as well. So that may shape who makes it onto the Olympic team or not. So you have to not only be healthy at nationals, you have to be able to compete. You have to stay healthy between now and Beijing. And then you have to be able to compete healthy in Beijing. It is a lot to ask with this Omicron variant sort of raging on. Here's the interesting thing. Let's take a look at some good luck messages from around the Skate Ontario family for our team. So Christine Love, Suzanne Morgan, Lori McMurray, Kenora Skating Academy, Jenna T, and Kathy Adams, thank you so much for your wonderful messages on the Skate Ontario. Good luck to the Ontario competitors that are competing at nationals. Novice competition, of course, has been postponed for another day. Junior is being kind of jigged, and seniors taking place today and tomorrow. Yeah, it's just, I think that Omicron is going to shape the Olympic teams. So it may be very interesting who ends up competing in Beijing. I have to just swat Garth because he's trying to look out the window and he's going to bark in a second. See? No, come here. So it's just going to be one of those shows. Asher's used to it, though. He's used to me. He's known me since he was a little wee kid. So it's going to be interesting to see how it all shakes out. Talk amongst yourselves.
So I found it very interesting. I saw that
We're back.
to them as girl skates. However, they are white skates. Skates do not belong to a gender. Keegan was wearing white skates and jeans today. Did you guys see that? Because I was like, what's going on? Apparently a luggage fiasco and he needed skates. So yeah, he's wearing, you know, like his lumberjack plaid and his jeans and some white skates at practice last I saw. So I think everybody's being shaken up by everything that's going on. I think in the States, if I'm not mistaken, Jason Brown was having some travel issues. It's just across the board, everybody's just like, okay, we're just rolling with the punches at this point. And leading with white skates, which I thought was awesome.
Well, it goes with everything, but it is after May 1st, or September 1st. So I'm wondering if that was appropriate.
I think at this point, you just go with it.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, I don't discriminate against white shoes. Like, it isn't, no.
You could just do it. Yeah.
As long as they do the job. That's it. As long as they do the job.
Exactly.
Do they have a toe pick? Fantastic. And you know what? Speaking of which, I know for a fact that Asher Hill can still land a double axel and dance blade. So if he can do that.
Who did? Asher, the former single skater, not just an ice dancer who went to Worlds and 4 continents and Junior Worlds, but we're talking about a very strong single skater. I didn't realize that he'd done a double axel in dance blades. That's brave.
Proof somewhere. Yeah. 100%.
For people who don't know, dance blades are quite a bit shorter than free skate blades. So not a lot of landing room necessarily. You got to be right spot on. Or else
I've never worn dance blades. Isn't the rocker more aggressive, or am I making that up? I've never worn dance blades. Asher can tell us.
He'll tell us.
He will tell us. He will tell us so much more than just that. So if you have questions, if you have comments for Asher Hill, we are so happy to have him here. And then you're going to flip over to CBC Sports and watch him all over again with Dylan Moskovich, another Skate Ontario guy who doesn't know this yet, but he's going to be coming on 3 Turn 3 too. We just, we're going alphabetically. So A for Asher before D for Dylan. So, here's the other thing that I want to talk about. The Skate Ontario family has come up with this. I went to do this bigger, but honestly, couldn't. So we've got a whole bunch of things that we're throwing into the category of opportunity series. And this opportunity series has all kinds of cool events going with it. It's the online edition for the opportunity series. There's a great variety of online sessions for January. All levels and disciplines of skaters and coaches are welcome to attend. Each session is $10. Some of the awesome presenters include Kurt Browning, Roman Sadowski, Megan DeHamel, Denise Harris, and more. So if you want more information about doing something kind of cool while we're still in lockdown, here's an email or a website address for you to go to. And that is skateontario.org/opportunities-series, $10. And of course, if you need more information, then where you need to go is the Skate Ontario social media channels. And also you can always email communications@skateontario.org and you'll be able to get all the information that you want. So I would like you guys, if you can, before we introduce our special guest, do you have a favorite Asher program? Not only as a choreographer, because of course, you know, he's choreographed for Maddie Schizas, who is hopeful in being named to the Olympic team and also claiming a national title. Leah Pereira, another huge talent. But do you have a favorite program that maybe he did, skated himself, or has choreographed?
I feel like the one that I really loved that I never saw start to finish, because I don't know if that skater ever competed it, but it was a young man that Asher was working with at the rink that I was teaching at the time. And it was to like Dracula. And it was just so cool because Asher is very like outside of the box, and it's just like such a fresh take. So it's like, there's the classical element that says, yes, I was an ice dancer, but it's like, it's just different and it's cool. And it was a really cool program, but I don't know if it ever like flew from the nest. I don't know if I never saw it. I don't know if it actually competed, but God, it was cool. What about you, Maz?
Well, I have to say, so I was at the rink while Asher was creating the show program with Maddie Skeezus and her show program. And I got to tell you, I kind of did one of these. I thought, okay, do I get it? Do I not get it? Then all of a sudden I saw it finished and I thought, okay, the lights went on. It wasn't like an Oprah aha moment. It was like, okay, I get it. This is a lot of fun. This is really cute. This is just so endearing. It brings out her personality. And I just thought it was fantastic.
Mhm.
I had a chance when I was doing commentary for Everybody Everywhere. So like the real commentators were doing just like, a few programs, and I did every program start to finish on so many different competitions. It was actually a whole lot of fun, including really Everybody Everywhere. And the year that Asher and Karis Ralph, one of his dance partners, went to the World Figure Skating Championships, I think is the year that it was like folk music or ethnic music, and their program I still remember to this day. So I got a chance with my producer Dan Crowley, to be able to come up with a list of favorite programs that we showed during the intermission of the gala. And that program made the cut every time I had a chance to do it. So Asher Hill is not only a fantastic choreographer, he's a superb human and just an outstanding skater in his own right. Okay, guys, here comes the big minute, the big finish. I mean, not the big finish. Here comes the big thing. Let's see if I can actually make this work. Probably not, but okay. Here's our big introduction. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay, let's see. Let's see. Here we go.
Oh, look at you go.
Okay, that was well worth all of the anxiety this morning.
He's here!
Sure, Neil, thank you so much for joining us.
Morning.
I bet you're super excited about that introduction, right? Oh, we've lost your sound.
His sound. Wait, hang on.
Hold on. Hello.
There you
Hi.
I was
I'm dying
the voiceover.
backstage. So funny. I did send a longer one where it was me doing stupid things, but it's okay. We don't need to see it. You'll see it in real time now.
Oh, I could try and get it, but I mean, seriously, it was all I could
That
do to
was-
get this one organized.
I think we should just be grateful for what happened and move
Yeah,
on.
it was fine. I think it was great.
Probably our best bet. Okay, Asher, you're here to talk choreography. It's
Mhm.
Nationals Week. I'm going to kick off the questions. I know Charlene and Mazen have tons of questions, but since I'm older, age before beauty and all that. So I want to know, you were at Nationals when these teams were being named, like the world team, junior world team, and you were at Junior Worlds, and you're a novice ice dance champion, and you're a junior ice dance champion. So
Mhm.
you've had your fair share of podiums, as well as an Autumn Classic champion, if I'm not mistaken.
Mhm.
In any event, and I'm not even looking at notes. It's all up here, people. But I want to know, what's it like to be at an event and wondering if you're going to make the cut to go to Junior Worlds or to go to Worlds? What's that like?
It's always, I mean, for me, it was always not really nerve-wracking at all. I think, going to these competitions, I always kind of just thought about skating stupid, like just going into autopilot, like obviously thinking about what I'm doing, but just trusting my body. And, when you go to these big events, especially when we went to Worlds with my partner, Karis, it just kind of felt like any other competition, any international that we had done. Nothing felt super crazy or out of the ordinary. You see the same people. But yeah, it always felt, I know this is kind of like the worst, not even fun answer, but it felt just like at practice.
Okay.
That's a good thing.
Sometimes I'd get confused. Like I really would hate when there was a competition in China where the boards were also white and the same color as like the ice, obviously. And so when we came out of like our spin, we were like, where are we? And we did like a circle of cross cuts at the competition, and we're just like, like that stuff happens. But just because you're in unfamiliar places. But other than that, it always just felt like practice for me.
Amazing.
That's the goal. That's amazing. I think most people freak out. And I think would you say it's what you make of it? Like if you're the kind of person who, gets nervous and makes a big deal out of everything, then it's going to feel much more stressful. But you strike me as a very like calm, collected, cool cucumber. So it is what you make of it. Would you say that?
I think so as well, and I think it's individualized. It's all about you personally. If you know you're a person who can't, like, for example, listen to scores, you come out with your your AirPods or cover your ears, or there's a way to do stress management to manage your nerves. Because it's not to say I never like got nervous or had any anxiety. It's acknowledging that they'll be there, but having to deal with them instead of letting them deal with you.
I think it also helps too when it's a collaboration and it's a partnership between you guys as the team, you guys as athletes, along with your skating coaches, that kind of help to prepare you for the unknown, like the first time that you've gone to Junior Worlds, the first time that you're going to Worlds, 4 continents and whatnot, kind of what to expect. And as long as hopefully there's nothing that's going to catch it from left field, that helps. The dynamic between yourselves and your coaches, tell us how that helped to kind of just relax you a little bit more.
Well, Carol Lane, John Lane, yours, Razgalayev, and Donnie Ijima. Carol used to be, sorry, that's my phone. Carol has been my coach since I was 5 years old, 5 or 6 years old, and I retired at 25. So she has known me pretty much my whole life, and spending waking hours in the morning together. You build a rapport. She's like my my skating mom, and of course John always brings the levity in the dynamic of our coaches. And I was just thinking as you were talking about coaches preparing you for competition. You just would be over prepared. You would do your run throughs multiple times. You would do the detail work. And John, often in my head, I'm thinking, you're so prepared. You can't. Can I say the S word on here? Is there no swearing? You guys are so prepared. I can't even. And then he would say poop, but with an S. So like it's stuff like that. Of course, during our training as well, we would work with sports psychologists, especially to help the dynamic between the two partners, because working together can be stressful. And when people collide, there is often confrontation. Although I think I was a pretty good partner. We didn't have much confrontation. I don't like to argue. I'm non-confrontational. So when stuff goes down, it would be like one time a year we would let it out and then cry in each other's arms. That was how me and Karis operated. So
I gotta jump in to talk about confrontation.
Yes.
I do know from a secret source, your mom, that you hated skating. You
I did.
have a twin sister, and you were the one that had to get bribed with French fries in order to go skating. So did that come up in the sports psychology conversation? And then we have a great question. So let's talk about the French fry factor.
Wait, question or French fries now?
French fries.
French fries now.
Yeah, no, I hated it. It was terrible. I guess I would just eat ice, cry. And because at Scarborough, there's no boards. Also, I've been at Scarborough from day one of my skating career. I would just crawl off the ice, and my dad would try and chase me while I was running on my skates and put me back on the ice. And he would have to bribe me with Skittles, French fries from the snack bar upstairs, anything. But then they realized I'm just wasting their time, my time, their money. And so they took me out. But then I had to go to the rink anyways to watch Keisha skate. So I eventually went back into it. And then I guess I just kind of excelled. Which Carol would argue excel is a strong word, because left from your right is hard. Ask her about the swing dance. Chasses are very confusing.
We've got a great comment from Funny Dog, who's one of our regulars. Thank you so much for joining us again. Asher, when choreographing a program, how the bleep do you do it? I have a hard enough time doing living room choreography on the radio. So that's true. So let's talk about, Maddie Schizas, Olympic hopeful. What does that feel like you know, when you're, and Leah Pereira, of course, too. What does that feel like at the beginning of the season? And you know that you have to do something that's possibly Olympic worthy.
How the bleep do you do it?
Well, the first step, of course, is music. And music is so finicky in the way that it's, you want something that is a good vehicle for not only the skater, but something that catches the ear and the eye of course, the judges who give you the scores, and you know, the people watching you, sending you to assignments and different things like that. But I do think above all, it is personable to what the skater wants, because you're going to have to listen to it on when you're having a good day, when you're having a bad day, when you are freezing cold, when you have to push yourself to the limit. So you need music that is going to sustain for the end of the year, where you don't want to you know, jump off the ice and then throw your skates in the garbage and then just never come back to the rink. And so, you know, with Maddie, she is a very old soul. So whereas I like to, you know, kind of go out of the box with our classics in skating, you know, like if I see another Romeo and Juliet, which I will inevitably, I'm going to just end it all. But you
leave them alone.
Just cry into a bucket of French fries.
I know. Let those 12-year-olds just rest in peace forever. But they're going to disturb their grave again. But you know, but she is an old soul. She likes she is classically trained in piano, so she does like classical music. And you know, so you know, going to this Olympic Games, we want to stick to what her comfort levels are. So with the short program, we went with My Sweet and Tender Beast. Is that, I always confuse the adjectives there. And then of course Madame Butterfly, Miss Saigon for the free program. And you know, when you're creating these programs and creating movements, you have to remember that you're not creating for yourself, you're creating for the skater. So you want to push them out of their comfort zone while also making sure that you're staying within their comfort zone, so that they feel comfortable with the program they're trying to execute, with, you know, all the jumps, spins, everything else, so that they can stay true to themselves but also improve at the same time. Especially with Maddie, she some hand movements and things like that, it takes her a while to like really focus and get them. So it's a slow moving process where we have to keep adding throughout the year, rather than just right at the beginning and then make it super intricate at the beginning and then try and you know, make it better. We kind of make the skeleton and then we start adding more complexity as we go throughout the year for her. But you know, when you ask me about creating the program for the Olympics, I think yes, you want it to reach a proper caliber that she doesn't look displaced internationally, but at the same time, that wasn't really my thought. My thought was just, how can we, from the years of being and working together, how can we make this the best program for her to really showcase things that she has in spades already, like her speed, her attack, her edge quality. So, you know, really making a program that's open and flowy so that you can really see that in her skating.
And you can, Asher, you completely can, because like you said, especially with her, you know, being able to be at the rink with her on most days where she's training, she's light on the ice, she's fast on the ice, she's quiet on the ice. So that's exactly what you've done. I feel like what you're also kind of, you know, getting around to saying, it's like, it just kind of grows organically, you know, it grows organically. And when you end up working with the skater, whether it's Maddie or anybody else, you know, how do you go about, you know, building that concept of what you inevitably want that program to look like for that skater? So take us through that process with someone that you have just, you know, began a relationship with, maybe, if you can, and just kind of tell us what your thoughts are.
So I always like to so say it's my first time working with this skater, and often I get the music early, but not early enough. So it's like, I get to hear the music a few times, and maybe I'll do some off ice walkthroughs of things I want to add in. But when we hop into the ice, it's did you choose this music? Is always my first is my first question. And if it's a yes, it's perfect. If it's a no, we go and explore a little bit more about how do you feel about the music? Do you click with it? And then, we kind of start wherever in the program. Beginning for me is honestly the hardest part to start for the beginning. I like to start either with a step sequence or a place where I know I want to spin and like map out the program. But I always ask them, what does this music say to you? Like when you're listening to this, what is the story that you kind of come up with? Like I have a story in my head, but I don't want to just put everything of me on top of the skater. I want to hear, like, I want to respect their personhood and get them to have like, an executive producer credit on their own program, kind of stuff like that. So whenever they like add an arm by accident, I'd be like, we'll put that in, and look, we'll put your name as a choreographer on this too. But yeah, I just asked them, what does this music say to you? Is it giving you sad vibes? Are we depressed? Or are we conveying man's inhumanity to man?
Joyful. I'm just putting in the words till he comes back. He's a little bit stuck.
Happy.
Hi, sorry.
Curious.
Did you hear me?
It was a fun exercise in filling in the blank.
Yeah.
Sorry, what did I mean? Where was I?
Was it sad vibes? Is it
are we doing sad vibes? Are we star-crossed lovers? Did someone trying to steal your partner and we're about to fight? Like, what are we doing? Like, tell me what the vibe of the program is. And then from there, we just kind of create the character together. And then, one thing I always remember is that like I have certain skills that I can't do. Like spread eagles are not my strong suit. So I always ask, are there cool things you can do? Is there cool hydroblading stuff that you can do? Different things like that. As well as, if there are people who are much more talented than me, even like these young skaters. So I ask them to just do anything that they've been working on, anything interesting and intriguing or something that they've always wanted to try and do. And then we put that into the program if we can. And then, I often use weird analogies when I'm creating movements. Like I'm like, okay, so I want your hand to be really soft. Imagine it's your dog in your hand and you love your dog. Would you just smash it like that? Or would you like gently pat? Like just things like that. And if it's like a younger skater and we're doing, I don't know, a jazzy program or something, if in more adult terms, we would say is more like sexual. Obviously with a younger skater, you don't want to go there. So I often equate every emotion to like food. Like I'm just like, imagine instead of like doing a shoulder roll and you're feeling yourself, someone just took out a baked tray of cookies and imagine you're smelling it and then just roll your shoulders back. So I equate a lot of things to food.
David Long, by the way, who's a coach that we all know and love. Hey, David, thank you for joining us.
Hi, David.
He fondly remembers 6-year-old Asher and his food-bribed beginnings. So the fact that he come back up again is not a surprise. Happy National Day, everybody. So I've got a question, and here it is. On Sunday, we're going to have a bit of a 3-turn-3 bonus show. And we're going to be talking about Ontario legend, actually world legend, Toller Cranston. Because 7 years ago at Nationals, it was announced during the men's free final that Toller had died. So obviously the choreography from Toller's program have left their mark on the sport. We were talking to Patrick Chan last week and he talked about the influence that Toller had. How do you feel about potentially leaving a legacy through your choreography on the sport?
Um,
Oh, she caught you off guard with that one.
And go.
I mean, I think it would be really, really cool, and amazing to be able to have a body of work that's recognizable within the skating community. You know, it's going to be really cool to have, you know, Maddie Schizis go to the Olympics if she gets the spot, because that will be like my first program ever at an Olympic level. So, you know, in a way, you know, never being able to go, never been to the Olympic Games, but in a way, my work being there is, you know, a nice consolation prize. And it's not even a consolation prize. It's massive, because so many other choreographers or even skaters don't even get to, you know, that what we consider the pinnacle of sport. So that would be really cool, and it's a nice little step into that kind of world. You know, it would be cool if people are like, oh yeah, I want to get an Asher Hill program or something like that. But I'm just gonna keep plugging away at what I'm doing, and you know, hopefully be a little bit better with promoting my work, and hopefully it will speak for itself. I just got to keep, you know, pushing myself, analyzing different programs, going back to watching, you know, off ice dance, especially modern contemporary Alvin Ailey, Marsha Graham style stuff, you know, to put in programs to keep it interesting, because, you know, often I think in skating we still fall into those really traditional tropes, and, you know, especially as a person of color in the world of skating, I think my perspectives on the world, and, you know, how I emote that through my body, I think gives me a different perspective on what I want from movement and how I want to express a story. So I think that will hopefully come through in more of the work that I do later in my choreography career.
Well, and I think, Asher, it's funny that you say, you know, it'd be cool one day if you know, someone wanted an Asher Hill program. I don't doubt that there are already people who feel that way, and especially after this weekend, I don't doubt that your phone will be dinging a little more frequently on our show, for that very reason, because you are creating beautiful work, and have been for quite some time, and building on it. And I guess my question for you, it's always around, I find myself always asking questions around legacy, but do you think about the legacy that you want to leave when you're you know, working on these programs with these skaters? Are you so immersed in it that you're not really thinking about big picture, or like what is it that you want to leave on the world of skating with your work and your presence?
I think I definitely never think big, broad, or big and broad outside of what I'm doing, when I'm doing my work. I get very, very laser focused, almost to a point where, like, if someone like talks to me, I get a little bit abrasive, and then I'm like, oh, just chill, they're just trying to talk to you. So I in terms of what I want to leave, I think, oh gosh, I don't know.
It's tricky, right? It's tricky. Really, and I think because you are someone who is so laser focused, that is why your work is so beautiful. But I think this is an interesting exercise for any of us, really. In, you know, we get so caught up in the day to day, and we want to do best by our skaters, that I think, you know, stepping back, zooming out, thinking about what is it that I want to, you know, bring, really can inform our daily work. So just a thought.
Can I just jump in too for 1 second?
Please.
You know, you mentioned about being a person of color, Asher, and that must inform your work in some ways as well. And being able in a sort of like an ordinary everyday way to just, rather than trying to be something that you're not, embracing everything that you are, means that the influence that you can exert on young skaters as they're coming up is that, well, if Asher is doing this, then I can do it too. So I think that as a leader, that's part of the legacy that I see for you, having known you for a long time. I think that what you do on the ice is important. What you do off the ice and how you present yourself is equally as important. That's what I think.
I don't disagree.
Yeah, I think, I think obviously within these last few years of the big social change we've been seeing with the pandemic opening our eyes, I mean, more people's eyes to the inequities and the chasms of inequality that we have in the world. I think, more than ever, when you're just kind of skating and doing the things that you've always wanted to do, and you're making worlds, you're going to junior worlds, you're traveling around the world, you're aware of the obstacles you'll face as a Black person, because your whole life that's what you've not only been told, you've seen, it's something you've had to experience, but when you're skating and you're focused on your job, especially my parents would just be like, just keep doing what you're doing, so you don't focus on what your legacy is. You don't focus on that your presence in being in this space is inspiring to others. And with the troubles that I've had this last 2 years, even speaking out, you don't realize that you affect more people than you do. And even though I'm not thinking about a legacy, clearly there's something being left, because people keep, kind of gravitating towards me and giving me more opportunities. And I'm in a place of advocacy work that I've always wanted to be in. And it's really cool. It's challenging, and I'm not perfect at it, but I'm working towards it. At being more efficient and doing work that is valuable and effective. So I think through my choreography, it's another outlet for me to, let go. And I think there are so many different programs I have in mind that I want to put on people, but I think it also has to come on the right bodies as well. And what I mean by that is like cultural bodies, or someone that can identify with, maybe the pain or emotions that I want to convey on the ice with a program, kind of stuff like that, or joy or things like that. So, yeah.
I have a quick question, and I'm sure, and then Mazen's got a wrap up question. I know he does, because, time is marching on, but some of the cool experiences that you've had. So Battle of the Blades. Oh my goodness, I loved what you did. How much fun was that show to watch? And so close to the trophy. But the other thing I want to talk about a little bit is commentary. So, when I was doing a lot of commentary, I was, of course, bringing my lens, my coaching lens to it, and also my love of ice dance and my ice dance lens to a lot of the programs. When you're watching figure skating, are you watching it with oh my goodness, I love that, or oh my goodness, I would have switched where the step sequence is and the spin because the music says something else? Like, are you watching it from a critical choreography eye, or are you just watching and enjoying it?
A little bit of both.
Watch it later on today, people.
Yeah, a little bit of both. I think that I'll often watch something, a program, and I'll be like, this could have, there's like beats that you're missing here. There's movements that you're missing here. I find that, for example, sometimes I find a lot of the skating now, especially within free skate, it's just like constantly moving through music, and sometimes without the acknowledgement of it even existing. So like, if I could put on the chicken dance and it still looks the same, I don't think that's not full rounded skating, of course. Not everyone's going to be an amazing lyrical artistic skater that can really, really feel the music, but I think there's sometimes like a lack of even basic like hitting of the beats. So like, I find myself being like, ugh, like, get it, like, as an ice dancer and as a person who just like is really proprioceptive to music. And then of course there are times where I'm just really enjoying, if I'm watching like a Wakaba Higuchi, it's absolutely fantastic. There's no notes for her. You know what I mean? So it's a little bit of both.
Okay, so speaking of that, and speaking along those lines, early on our days of skating, we all have an understanding as to what skating is giving us.
Mm-hmm.
In the future, we all have an understanding as to what we want to try to get from skating. But here in the present, Asher, what can you tell us that skating has given you just as a person?
PTSD whenever I get hit by a cold wind. I immediately start crying. I just
No.
When I'm scraping off my car, I'm crying. No, but actually, oh my God, I hate the cold when I don't have to be in it. It's just like it's unnecessary. But I think it's given me a whole range of experiences and ways to and access to different emotions that you wouldn't either feel that you could only get through either a high praise, high success, to low, to critiques, to last place at an event, to questioning what are you doing, your own place within not only your sport but society, especially when you reach that crossroads of, do I continue now as I go into like my adulthood? And it's given me a work ethic, as well as going through everything I've gone from my competitive career to these last 2 years dealing with racism and having this whole debacle with Skate Canada. I hated the sport for those last 2 years, but being on Battle of the Blades, having that figure skating show, getting to watch skating now that I'm removed from it and actually, enjoying it again, it's given me so many times a sense of joy that often is easily bogged down by negativity. It's very easy for the human brain to be like, good day, good day, good day, good day, good day, one bad second, and we just focus on that 1 second. But if you look out, you see that I have a best friend for life in Karis. Me and my sisters, we all bonded through skating, had skating competitions in their bedrooms for like hours. So it's created memories, happiness, joy, sadness, regret, anger, and just things that suck and are amazing, but you wouldn't trade any of the experiences because it's led you to where you are now. So.
You know what, Asher Hill, you are an absolute treat. Can you guys actually hear me?
We can hear you, sweetie.
You really did something different with your makeup.
Yeah, I love that. It's got this like blackout effect. It's like you're almost not there.
It's like the one smoky eye.
Yeah.
That's your third eye. Wait a second.
So basically, as I mentioned, I have a new computer and apparently an old brain. So I don't know what happened with the camera. I've tried fooling around with it. But I just want to say, Asher, you are an absolute treat. We are so happy to have you. I want to remind everybody that we have a bonus 3-turn-3 show on Sunday, all about Taller Cranston. And we have a couple of special guests coming in, including his sister, Philippa, with whom I've been in contact. She's got a couple of book projects coming out, and we're going to reminisce about Taller. So this has been another great episode of 3-turn-3. I should have my face back by next week, or hopefully Sunday.
I think this is a good look for you. Keep it.
You think so? Listen, you know what? I don't have to go with the gel lens anymore.
Exactly.
So anyway, Asher, honestly, good luck. And we'll be talking to you soon, I'm sure. One of Skate Ontario's legends, Asher Hill, thank you so much.
Oh my God, I almost forgot. I'm actually doing, you did say commentary. I'm actually doing live commentary on Saturday for the free dance, for Ice Dance.
Congrats, that's amazing.
Awesome.
It's been a while. The last time I did commentary, PJ, was with you.
I know. How much fun did we have in the middle of the night?
We did. We did have a really good time, but I'm a little nervous because it's been a bit. Because now I've been so lucky with that figure skating show. They can edit all of my mistakes. It's wonderful. I love it.
Well, you say hello to the crew over there, to Dylan,
I will.
to Jackson, to Karen, to everybody. And we love watching you. So go to that figure skating show. I would play the little graphic again, but honestly, you don't want to risk it. So, thank you so much, Asher. We'll talk to you soon.
Thank you. Bye,
Thanks,
Madison.
Asher.
Bye,
Great to see
Charlene.
you.
Bye.
Great to
Thanks
see
for
you
having
here.
me. Bye,
Say hi to your mom and
PJ.
sister.
Hey,
I
bye,
will.
sweetie. Now this is the quiet time. This is when we pretend that I've actually done this properly. Here we go. Bye.
Oh.